welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Speaking of wine dollars wisely, we have Vinho Verde. A lot of you are familiar with it. It's become very, very popular. In fact, we have one Vinho Verde that has sold ridiculously well over the winter even. You would think, oh, it's white wine, it's going to sell during the summer. No, this all winter, this wine just smoked out of the store. People like it because of the price. Both of these are $8. But it's also the fact that they're low in alcohol. Both of these are 9.5% alcohol. And it's also very good. It's uncomplicated, simple wine that a lot of people like that about Vinho Verde. Vinho Verde is an appellation. It's not the name of the grape. In fact, the grapes in this, you may not be familiar with any of them. They're from Portugal. The appellation, Vinho Verde, has 9 sub-appellations within it. So kind of like Columbia Valley that has like a 12 or something like that, just off the top of my head. A lot of sub-appellations inside the actual larger Columbia Valley appellation. 9 sub-regions goes from the border of Spain, up by Galicia, Rias Baixas, that area, all the way down to the Atlantic Ocean by Porto. So it's a huge, huge appellation. They're very famous for their white wines. Believe it or not, there's actually Vinho Verde out there that's very expensive. One guy told me just the other day that he saw one at the store for $40. Those are single varietal Vinho Verdes that can age, believe it or not, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They're made from the Loureiro grape or the Alvarinho grape. Alvarinho is closely related to Albarino, which you've heard of, so this is Alvarinho. Not exactly the same grape, but very closely related. Those wines demand a lot of money. They're high acid. I actually tried one, I think that was in the $20 range. Just yesterday, in fact, I tried it, and yeah, it was really bright, acidic. You could tell that it was a young wine, but you could tell it could age. It had good structure. But like I told him, I said, man, it'd be really hard for me to try and get somebody to bite on a $25 bottle of Vinho Verde. I'm just saying. There might be a few of you out there that are willing to do it, but not too many. Let's get started right now. These are $8. These are the Casal Garcia Vinho Verde. Was in at $8, 9.5% alcohol. Now, another thing that a lot of people like about Vinho Verde is they have a little frizzante, a little spritz to them. Now, originally when they made these years ago, kind of a generous rinse there. Years ago, because Vinho Verde means green wine, or young wine is what it's referring to, they sometimes had some leftover carbon dioxide, and that created those bubbles. Well, now they make them, of course, their winemaking techniques are a lot better, but they realized that the public liked the spritz on them, so they add a little carbon dioxide at the end to give it that frizzante. Let's see what we get on the noise. Little lemon rind. I'm getting a little basil action on the nose, which I find quite interesting. And a lot of dusty rock. There's a dusty rock thing going on. And interesting enough, almost because that dusty rock, the basil and the lemon rind, I'm getting a little bit of a nutty component coming through. All right, let's see what we get on the palate. Very simple but refreshing. I get a lot of lemon coming through big time. A lot of minerality too, which I like. But you know, you're not going to think about this wine. You're just going to drink it. I mean, that's what they're for. Great compliment to salad. I would definitely have this with salad. I'd have this with a fish taco. Maybe some Thai noodles would be good. It's not sweet, but the acidity isn't super high on this one. You get that little kind of tingling on your tongue from the frizzante, from the carbon dioxide that's put in there to give it that spritz. This one actually has a decent finish. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of a banana peel, lemon component coming through on the back of my tongue. A decent size finish, a decent length finish, decent size. What does that mean? Anyway, you know, pretty cool finish on this one. Simple wine, delicious though, and kind of fun to drink because it's, you know, it's got that little sparkly thing going on the tongue. And again, once again, I have to say people like these because they can drink more of it and it has less alcohol, so they don't really get burdened down with the alcohol content. I know a lot of people would say it's a fun wine. I don't like that term because but I understand what they're saying. You know, it's just a wine you don't have to think about. You can have a good time drinking it. You know, I'm going to go straight up C+ on that. I think it's a, good Vinho Verde, $8. I mean, how can you miss? Let's move on. Now, this is Casal Garcia's rosé version. Now, the grapes in the white were Lorero and Orinto. And this one has Vinho, I believe is how you say that, Vinho, Azal, and Boracol. Probably screwing that up big time. Anyway, so obviously this is made like a rosé. They don't use food coloring. They leave the juice on the skins of the red grapes for, you know, it could be 12 hours, could be longer, to give it that color. Then they pull the juice off, and there you go, you have a rosé. Let's see what we get on the nose. I get like immediately got pink grapefruit and red cherries. Pretty cool looking wine. Good color, really good color. A lot of people are sold on that, you know, it has to be like really light pink. But a lot of times I've tasted really cool rosés that have a darker color. They're still dry. So don't always equate pale color to dry. It's just how the winemaker makes it, how he ferments it down to where it's got any residual sugar or not. That's where the sweetness comes in, but not necessarily the color. The color comes from the skin, not the sugars. So you got to remember that. And a lot of times, you know, more skin contact actually will cause dryness because there's tannin in the skins. So that tannin can actually cause a dry feel in the mouth. One of my favorite rosés are from Tavel in the Rhone Valley. Great, that's all they make there is rosé. Those are some of the best rosés in the world. I love them. In fact, I should do a Tavel episode. In fact, I plan on doing a Tavel episode. Why not? So we get a little red cherry, pink grapefruit. Let's see what we get on the palate. Almost like pure, really good red cherry skins. I love it. Of course, I love cherries. With a little bit of an undertow of watermelon and a little bit of that, the flesh of a pink grapefruit coming through. It has good fruit, but it's dry, which I know a lot of you are going to like. This is going to be a rockin' rosé this summer. I love that cherry. I love it. You know, if you have to get when the first cherries come out, you got a bag full of cherries and you start eating them, spit in the pits, eat them. Don't you love that? I mean, I don't know if you like cherries, but this reminds me of really good ripe cherries. Maybe with a few Rainier cherries, you know, the yellow ones. A few of those thrown in. And then you get that kind of flesh of a really sweet grapefruit, pink grapefruit, which I like a lot as well, with a slight undertow of watermelon. This is a good rosé. I mean, certainly not super complex, but really good. And the cherries, the cherry flavors are just lingering in the back of the palate. Very good. I'm going to go, I dare say I'm going to go B- on this one. A little up from the Bronco. That's what they call whites in Portugal, Bronco. Up from that, B-, hedging towards B. I like it that much. I really do. It's a great bottle of wine. These are definitely worthy of your money. If you just want kind of a wine to enjoy with your salad, with fish tacos, with Thai noodles, you know, or just watching a sporting event or whatever you watch on TV, you can kick back and drink this. Hopefully we have a nice summer. These are great summer wines for sure. but they're certainly worthy of putting on your list of wines to buy throughout the year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your day. Subscribe to my channel. The subscribe button is right next, and right next to it is a little bell. Hit that bell and then it'll let you know when my next episode comes out. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.